Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about a theory that showed up on Reddit thanks to a user named Deaf Guru. It proposes that we're going to be going back to Reach in Halo 6, and that it's going to play a very central role in its story, as well as ushering the creative story arc, and maybe even the entire Reclaimer Saga, towards its grand finale. Now, when I first read this theory, I really liked it, so of course, with Deaf Guru's permission, I decided to talk about it on here. Once you've listened to the theory, be sure to leave your comments, thoughts, ideas, whatever in the comments down below, and if you like the idea of going back to Reach, don't forget to leave a like. Also, it's definitely worth sticking around to the end, because I've got a few theories of my own that I'd like to present that sort of stem off of this theory and build on it, so they're pretty interesting, but with all that in mind, let's get into it. So the theory builds off what we learnt from Halo Fractures, that the domain is located at Maithrillian, and also that the Organon is a precursor AI who goes by the name of Abaddon. What's most important though is that we now have a solid location for the domain. We know its central location is at Maithrillian. We also know that the domain is an absolute necessity for the creator to even function. Without it, there's no Warden, there's no Cortana, and therefore no leadership for the Prometheans and any other races that ally with them in the future. As I've theorized many times before, this is why there's likely going to be a power grab for either the domain and or Maithrillian in Halo 6. The created are going to want to secure it, whereas humanity and the allies are probably going to want to destroy it. However, how do we, or the created, actually find Maithrillian? Well, the answer lies within Reach. Let me explain. During the fall of Reach, there was a shipmaster by the name of Ro Baritami, who was the commander of the fleet of Valiant Prudence. He took his fleet to try and gain control of Reach before Covenant reinforcements could arrive, so he could fulfill a personal objective of his, to locate Maithrillian by illegally collecting powerful foreign artifacts hidden within Reach. Baratami was eventually stopped by Noble Six and George when they destroyed the Long Night of Solace, of which he was the shipmaster of, so he never located Maithrillian. However, he seemed pretty damn sure that he could find an artifact on Reach specifically that would give him Maithrillian's location, and given that said artifact wasn't destroyed when Reach was glassed, it should still be there. The important thing is that Dr. Halsey knows that Reach is a hotbed for foreigner artifacts. Given that she knows what the domain is, at least on a surface level, and that it's what's giving Cortana all her power and life right now, she'll likely come to the conclusion that it needs to be destroyed or at the very least deactivated. She could use the Swords of Sanghelios' luminaries to sort of scan for them on Reach, and then Osiris, Blue Team, and the Swords can go and retrieve them along with the Infinity. On the opposing side, Cortana knows about Reach's artifacts too from her time on Reach with Dr. Halsey very shortly after her creation. Again, I'm going to elaborate on this a little more in a minute. And that's pretty much the full Halo 6 Reach theory. Now, I of course want to elaborate on this a lot more with my own thoughts and feelings, but of course, if you have any thoughts or feelings on this theory, leave them in the comments down below right now. So, there are two reasons why I think this theory has a very high possibility of being true, at least to some degree. The first is that 343 seem to really like telling emotional Halo stories. We saw it in Halo 5 when it was done absolutely exquisitely, and we saw them swing and kind of miss at it in Halo 5. They tried, but it didn't come off too well. For the record, I'm not counting novels or comics, just games here, because novels and comics tend to have a really different atmosphere to games. Reach, in my opinion, is the absolute perfect opportunity to tell an emotional story with the current climate. We have Blue Team back together who grew up and trained together on Reach, along with Halsey being at the forefront, the absolute pioneer of their childhood, as fucked up as it was. We then have Osiris, who are seen as pretty ignorant by many to the true origins of the Spartans, and of whom wouldn't exactly understand the gravitas of returning to Reach, at least nowhere near to the extent of Blue Team, aside from Buck, who of course fought on Reach as part of Alpha 9, losing one of his closest squad mates, so it could end up creating a really emotional story arc for Buck too. Then we have the Swords of Sanghelios, who are led by none other than the elite who led the Fleet of Particular Justice, responsible for a very large majority of Reach's demise, Thel 'Vadam. The contrast that this could create between Blue Team and all of these other groups and individuals would be absolutely insane. They'd share emotional nostalgic moments with Dr. Halsey, put up with Osiris's contrasting ignorance to their memories on Reach, and have to stand on the planet of which was called every Spartan 2's home in First Strike by Fred, next to the Elite, who is now an ally, who was responsible for millions upon millions of casualties, along with the destruction of the Spartans' home. If 343 want to top Halo 4's story on the emotional tier, then this is a damn good way to do it. The impact of all of these histories of tightly knit characters colliding and crashing with each other would be absolutely astronomical. Secondly, all storytelling aside, there's been a really weird sudden mass appreciation of Reach as a game over the past year or so, and so many people are suddenly saying how it's the best Halo game and it's the most fun, etc, etc. 343 have definitely noticed this, with adding Reach armor to Halo 5, along with the planned Reach grenade launcher coming to Halo 5, and many other things. This makes me believe that they'll try and fit Reach into the story at least somewhere, even if it's just for fan service, just to try and capitalise on this sudden mass love for Reach as a game, and also to appeal to a mass audience that may have stopped playing with Reach. Okay, so let's talk theories now, specifically about the eventual conclusion of the Reclaimer Saga. Stemming from this Reach theory, I can really see the Reclaimer Saga ending with humanity reclaiming the domain, and of course claiming the mantle of responsibility. We'd take control of the domain by beating the Created and annexing Maithrillian, and we'd attain the mantle by beating the Precursor's final test, that will likely come sometime after this. The interesting thing now is how Abaddon fits into all of this. I can honestly see it allying with us, at least to stop the Created, as it hates the Foreigners for what they did to the Precursors. Also, as it's a Precursor, it knows that humanity are the true heirs to the mantle, so of course it will want to help us attain it. Finally, let's briefly cover the Foreigner ship that Halsey and Cortana were investigating on Reach. Dr. Halsey said that it held the secrets that could literally turn the tide of the Human Covenant War, a discovery equal to that of the aerodynamic shape of a bullet, or even the slip space drive. This ended up being the nav points for Installation 04, but there was so much more information on this ship, and given that Cortana was scanning it, it's very highly likely that she retained a lot of the knowledge that she gained from it, and she still has that knowledge now. If this ship had the coordinates for Installation 04, there's a chance that it had the coordinates to Maithrillian too, and this could be Cortana's reason to go back to Reach. Humanity's reason to go back to Reach would be, of course, to follow Cortana and either stop her or get to Maithrillian before her, and either destroy or take control of the domain to finally put a stop to her. So that's going to do it for today, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. I apologise for my voice during this video. It might sound a little bit weird because I've got a pretty bad sore throat right now. So again, apologies for that. Don't forget to leave your thoughts on these theories in the comments and get a discussion going. You never know, a discussion thread on YouTube could literally end up predicting the entire story of Halo 6 bang on. The chances could be fairly low, but you never know. I'm not too sure what the next video is going to be, maybe talking about the future of the Banished after Halo Wars 2. Not too sure right now, but whatever it is, it's going to be a fun video, so stay tuned for it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you then.